If you want to be more efficient and effective while running your business with more inner peace, then working on the core of your issues instead of putting on a band-aid is vital. Welcome to the Business Brain Podcast.
I'm your host, Esty Rapport, and here to help you improve your 28 cognitive functions, the 28 things that make up thinking. In each episode, we'll discuss a real-life challenge, why you might be struggling with it, and give you practical strategies so all areas of your life will improve.
As a kid, Scott's parents called him absent-minded professor due to his scattered brain nature. If he remembered to bring his workbook to school, he forgot his lunch. Running his own business only amplified the consequences of his absent-mindedness, and while he could be productive if he worked really, really hard, it drained his mental energy very quickly. Scott made massive improvements in the 90-day program, Optimize Your Brain. There was one specific thinking skill that helped him get more organized with ease, freeing up that mental space so he can think bigger, have better ideas, and run his business with more ease. If you are experiencing something similar, I'm here to tell you, you do not have to struggle forever. In this episode 445 of the Business Brain Podcast, I'm going to share with you the exact steps of what you can do to have your own transformation. But first, screenshot this episode and share on Instagram stories. Don't forget to tag me at LifePix University so I can thank you personally. While you're doing any task, you, without even realizing it, are using your 28 thinking skills. When the thinking skills you need to use are strong, doing the task is easy. If the thinking skills you need to use is weak, doing the task will be a challenge. The struggle that Scott had came from a weak thinking skill of having a need to make a plan. In order to plan well and execute on the plan, you need to use many of the foundational thinking skills. But before you even get there, you need to have a strong thinking skill called having a need to make a plan. Why is making this plan worth it? How will it benefit you? When your brain understands why it's doing what it's doing, it's going to make your life a lot easier. And it's way more likely for you to follow the plan. Like I said, you have to use other thinking skills to also follow it through, but it's for sure not going to follow it through if it doesn't understand a deep reason why it should follow it. When Scott joined the program, he was already making lists and trying to get himself organized, but there was a part of his brain that was still thinking, I can wing this. Sounds familiar? Because guess what? He always did wing it. And in the end, he was always able to accomplish his goal. So for his brain, if he can do it in the end, what was the point in having to work so hard on making and executing on a plan? The first thing we did was to get his brain was to see the benefits of plans and strategies, like on a deep level. Why do we need these plans? Well, we did this in conversations in the cohort. You can do this by journaling. Questions like, what are the benefits of a plan? Where have you used the plan and it helped you? Where have you not used the plan and it ended up causing confusion, pressure, or a mess? Once you feel like your brain has a deep understanding of why plans are helpful and wants to make a plan, when you're feeling like you want to make a plan, you are ready to make a plan. Now, as I said earlier, actually making the plan requires many thinking skills. And this is why so many people struggle with planning and executing on it. As soon as any of those thinking skills are weak, making the plan is going to be a challenge. Because of this, I'd suggest you go from small to big, such as starting with planning today, then planning a week, then planning a month to planning a quarter. You can also do this with specific tasks, planning one specific podcast episode, planning 4 podcast episodes, planning podcast episodes for 6 months. You do want to keep in mind there is no perfect way to plan. You'll find yourself always improving this skill of planning and taking it to the next level. That's, of course, if your thinking skill of having a need to make a plan only gets stronger. Are you satisfied with having a simple to-do list, or are you constantly keeping your eyes out on how you can plan even better? Is having a need to make an even better plan something that interests you? That's where it comes back to the thinking skill. If few months after completing Optimize Your Brain, Scott told me that they needed to move offices, and he was the first one ready because of his thinking skill of having a need to make a plan. Planning happened so naturally that he was even encouraging others to improve their plans. Your challenge this week is to take some time to journal as to why you should plan or why you should improve your planning skills. In what areas of your business and life do you need to plan more? If you already plan, how would it benefit you to plan more efficiently? The deeper this desire is, the more likely you will find ways to improve this skill and actually execute on it so you can see the results.
That's all for this episode of the Business Brain Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please share it with 2 of your business friends so they too can gain from it, and you'll be helping us reach our goal of 1 million downloads by the end of 2025. Cheers to peak brain performance.